The courtroom was tense as Judge Amy Coney Barrett fixed her gaze on Pam Bondi. The former Florida Attorney General stood calmly, but Barrett's tone suggested skepticism. This was supposed to be a routine hearing, but what unfolded next left everyone stunned. Bondi, often underestimated, was about to prove why she's a legal powerhouse. The judge's attempt to challenge her backfired spectacularly. It all started when Barrett questioned Bondi's interpretation of a complex constitutional clause. The judge's phrasing seemed designed to trip her up, but Bondi didn't flinch. Instead, she paused, smiled, and launched into a flawless analysis. Citing precedent and historical context, she dismantled the premise of Barrett's query. The courtroom buzzed. This wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a masterclass. Legal experts later dissected the exchange, calling it one of the most brilliant displays of courtroom wit in years. Bondi's deep knowledge of procedural law turned the tables instantly. Even Barrett's stern demeanor softened as she realized her mistake. The judge had tried to expose a weakness, but Bondi revealed unshakable expertise. The viral moment was born. What made Bondi's response so devastating? It wasn't just her command of the law, it was her delivery. She spoke without notes, referencing obscure cases and threading them into a compelling argument. Observers noted how she used Barrett's own judicial philosophy against her. Originalism. Bondi wielded it like a scalpel. The irony wasn't lost on the audience. Social media erupted within minutes. Clips of the exchange racked up millions of views, with hashtags like #BondiBrilliance trending. Commentators praised her poise, while legal blogs analyzed her strategy. Even critics admitted Bondi had humbled a Supreme Court justice. The moment became a case study in how preparation meets opportunity. Behind the scenes, sources revealed Bondi had spent weeks prepping for every possible angle. She'd anticipated Barrett's line of questioning and crafted responses that were both respectful and devastating. This wasn't luck, it was strategy. Her team later shared that she'd rehearsed until 2 a.m. the night before. The result? A viral triumph. The fallout was immediate. Legal analysts debated whether Barrett had underestimated Bondi or if the judge had walked into a trap. Some argued Barrett's intent wasn't to humiliate but to test, yet Bondi's reply exceeded all expectations. Law schools added the clip to their curricula, calling it a textbook example of persuasive argumentation. Bondi's career got a second wind. Suddenly, she was in demand for commentary, speeches, and even moot court coaching. Her reputation as a legal tactician overshadowed her political past. Meanwhile, Barrett earned respect for gracefully conceding the exchange. The mutual professionalism elevated both women in the public eye. The clip's popularity revealed a hunger for substantive discourse. Viewers weren't just sharing a gotcha moment, they were engaging with constitutional law. Podcasts dissected Bondi's citations, while TikTokers memed her deadpan smile post-rebuttal. It was rare for legal nuance to go viral, but this was no ordinary showdown. Later interviews with Bondi downplayed the drama. She credited her team and emphasized respect for the judiciary. But when pressed, she admitted, preparation beats posturing every time. The quote became a mantra for aspiring lawyers. Barrett, meanwhile, reportedly praised Bondi in private, calling her fearlessly precise. The incident also sparked debates about gender dynamics in legal spaces. Some saw Barrett's initial tone as condescending, while others argued it was typical judicial rigor. Bondi's calm dominance became a symbol of women, outshining stereotypes. Legal diversity advocates hailed the moment as a cultural reset. Media outlets scrambled to contextualize the clash. Profiles of Bondi's career resurfaced, highlighting her underrated litigation wins. Barrett's admirers noted her willingness to engage tough questions, even at her own expense. The mutual respect between the two turned a potential feud into a celebration of intellect. Late-night shows couldn't resist parodying the moment. Comedians impersonated Bondi dropping legal mic drops, while satirical headlines declared, "Florida woman destroys Supreme Court." Yet the humor never overshadowed the substance, a testament to how compelling the exchange truly was. Legal historians drew parallels to past courtroom dramas, like Thurgood Marshall's legendary arguments. Bondi's name entered that rarefied air, not for longevity but for sheer brilliance in a single moment. Scholars noted how her approach mirrored Ruth Bader Ginsburg's precision, a comparison Bondi called humbling. The viral fame had tangible effects. Bondi's book deals and speaking fees soared, while Barrett saw increased interest in her jurisprudence. Both women became unlikely icons of intellectual rigor, proving that substance could outshine soundbites. The public's appetite for depth was stronger than pundits assumed. In the weeks following, law firms reported a surge in applications from women inspired by the showdown. Professors used it to teach persuasion, ethics, and preparation. Even outside legal circles, leaders cited the moment as a lesson in turning challenges into opportunities. Bondi's grace under pressure was now case study material. Critics who'd dismissed Bondi as a political operative ate crow. Her performance reminded the world that partisanship aside, legal mastery commands respect. Editorials urged viewers to look beyond ideology and appreciate expertise, a fleeting but poignant shift in public discourse. The moment also revived debates about televised court proceedings. Advocates argued transparency breeds accountability, pointing to the Bondi-Barrett exchange as proof. Opponents worried about grandstanding, but even they admitted this was authenticity at its best. Bondi's post-hearing interviews revealed her philosophy: never let them see you sweat. She described channeling nervous energy into focus, a tactic honed over decades. Her advice to young lawyers: know the law colder than your opponent knows their ego. The quotes went viral, too. Barrett, meanwhile, earned praise for her judicial humility. By acknowledging Bondi's skill, she modeled intellectual honesty. Legal analysts noted how rare it is for authority figures to publicly concede a point, and how refreshing it felt. The clash's aftermath saw unexpected collaborations. Bondi and Barrett were invited to co-teach a seminar, though scheduling conflicts arose. Still, the mere suggestion thrilled the legal community, symbolizing bridge building in polarized times. Memes aside, the moment's legacy was its reminder that expertise matters. In an era of hot takes, Bondi's cold, hard knowledge cut through the noise. Viewers who couldn't define originalism before now debated it over dinner, a small win for civic education. Bondi's team later shared behind-the-scenes footage of her prep, humanizing the viral icon. The late-night caffeine runs, the dog-eared law books, it demystified her brilliance, showing it was earned, not innate. Fans loved the glimpse of grit behind the glamour. Legal tech companies seized on the moment, too. Apps offering Bondi-style prep checklists saw a download spike. A podcast dissecting her argument structure topped charts, proving there's an audience for deep dives, if the content is compelling enough. The exchange also subtly shifted Bondi's public persona. Once seen as a partisan fighter, she was now a lawyer's lawyer, a distinction she cherished. Colleagues noted her increased influence in appellate circles, where respect is currency. Barrett's reputation, meanwhile, gained nuance. Critics who'd painted her as inflexible saw her engage in genuine dialogue. Supporters appreciated her intellectual curiosity. The hearing became a footnote in her career, but a telling one. Months later, the moment still resonated. At a conference, a law student asked Bondi how to replicate her poise. Her answer: prepare until you're bored, then prepare more. The room erupted in applause, proof her impact endured. The Bondi-Barrett showdown's secret sauce: mutual respect. Unlike viral owns, fueled by contempt, this was a clash of equals elevating each other. That's why it inspired rather than polarized, a rarity in modern discourse. Legal clinics reported increased enrollment, with students citing the exchange as inspiration. Professors assigned mock trials reenacting it, challenging students to match Bondi's precision. The ripple effects kept growing. Ultimately, the moment transcended law. It became a metaphor for mastery in any field: outwork, outthink, outclass. Bondi's name became shorthand for turning pressure into performance, a lesson far beyond courtrooms. And as for Judge Barrett, she'd later call the exchange a welcome reminder that the law is a living conversation. In the end, both women won, and so did everyone watching. Because when intellect and integrity collide, the real victor is the truth.